announcement before you fly somewhere. It's like, if you're trying not to go to Appleton, get off the flight now. So I just want to make sure that's what everybody's here for. I'm just going to introduce myself. My colleague will introduce himself, and then we'll kind of dive in. My name is Gavin Luder. I'm director of an initiative called the University, C-I-T-Y, see if we did that, University Alliance at University of Wisconsin-Madison. Essentially, we try to build partnerships between units of local government and University of Wisconsin-Madison, matching priority areas of local government with existing courses at UW-Madison. So if anybody's ever heard of service learning, it's very similar to that at the university level. But before that, I was director of Wisconsin Campus Compact, doing service learning types of initiatives across the state. And community schools was something that a lot of colleges and universities are kind of looking toward to get involved in place-based solutions. So that's what brings me to this table. So, Ryan, good morning.
Ryan Burley, so I work for United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County. And we are one of the key partners in the Milwaukee Community Schools Partnership, which is a partnership between Milwaukee Public Schools, United Way, and I'll talk more about the Milwaukee Community Schools Partnership in a bit, but we're just completed our third full school year, and we've rapidly expanded to 10 schools, so we're really excited about this growing work. So,
Great, yeah, get the wireless mouse too. Oh, you can't? Okay, I'll keep trying. There are not very many of us in the room, so I was wondering if maybe you all could say who you are and what your interest is in community schools. And also, if you know much about community schools, you've worked with them, or if you're just here for kind of like, I don't really know what it is, I've heard people talk about it, I want to learn more. So, yeah, start with you.
My name is Victor Rodarte. I'm from Green Bay. I teach at the Green Bay School District. And my interest in this topic is because my school is entering, I'm not sure if it's like a phase 1 or phase 2, something with community schools. And so it started back in, we were told about it sometime in, I think, December.
You were told about it.
Yeah, and then that something was
The
going to,
community schools way.
and something was going to happen around April. And we have no idea what. We do know that the district is doing some kind of sending representatives to, I think Madison was one of them, in Milwaukee. And I think they sent some people down to the east, Pittsburgh or Boston,
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Coalition of Community Schools meeting? Yeah.
So, yeah, it's something that I'm interested because we're somehow, I'm not sure what it is.
Okay.
you said you're a teacher?
Yes,
Okay.
kindergarten teacher.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My name is Leah Olson. I'm on the Appleton Area School District Board of Education, and I have read and seen things about community schools. I'm very interested in them because we have quite a focus on closing opportunity gaps. I really don't think that's going to happen until we partner more effectively with parents. And I like things that I've read about this model because we're doing a lot of trying to work and provide wraparound services, that sort of thing, but a lot of it ends up falling on individual teachers and principals to then manage, which is not a sustainable model. So I'm interested in how this model addresses that piece.
My name is Heidi Higley-Nugent. I'm the instructor at Fox Valley Technical College. I teach English as a second language for parents where the children are often in Head Start or some other program, and I also teach math up there. And I raised 3 children who went to Appleton area school districts and went to community schools.
Hold on, time out. Is everything okay, Ryan? Do we need to get like technical support?
I might, we'll see.
If you could alert a technical support person to be on call.
I think I know, did you just turn that off?
Turn it back on.
Oh, okay.
That's great.
I've got one.
Right, great. Okay, thank you. Awesome. So your kids went to a community school?
No, they went to Appleton area school district. So we,
Oh,
I remember at Jefferson, it was, I liked the community model of it, Jefferson
And we were
Elementary.
a school, and actually.
And we were a stage school.
And stage school, which is what my kids do, and actually the teacher, their there's ex school there, worked in Florida where they had more of this type of model, and I think she's drawn on that experience. So maybe-
Okay.
And my kids went there when Mrs. Mott was there, so we go over, but, yep, same.
Cool. All right, thanks.
My name is Bryn Horton, and I'm on the Sunbury Area School District. And we do have community schools, and I am newly elected in April, and I'm the liaison for the board for the community schools, so I'm just trying to get more handle on it, and we're looking to expand next year, so.
Yeah, Sarah.
Sarah, yeah.
Sarah's your.
Yeah, she's fabulous.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out ways I can help support and we can get some more going out there.
Yeah. Thanks.
Jody Swigert, and I'm a person, I've been retired probably, I'm just trying to think about that, 15+ years. And so I've been away from education, but it's interesting because my experience as an educator was with an alternative school that was very kind of community focused at that point in time. But I always feel like we don't have a real clear definition, and I don't know if we really need a clear definition. But what is a community school? What are we looking at a community school providing? And I'm one of those people that's really supportive of looking at wraparound services, looking at how do we, look at family issues, and, I guess education isn't in little boxes. It just isn't. And so I'm really interested to see how can we define community schools and how to provide those services. And I'm a member of the Green Bay Advocates in Green Bay, so I've got my finger in that pie, and I'm always.
Were you here when Victor introduced us?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
good.
Yeah, and so I also go to school board meetings and try and figure out like what's happening and where is the area in our community where we do need a community school, So I'm kind of just looking at it and kind of being a devil's advocate and trying to figure out. Well, I think I'm I'm not employed by the Green Bay School District.
Yeah.
That is an advantage.
It's so interesting when the education
Because you can say
advocacy.
what you want to say.
Yeah, when I think about education advocacy, especially at this point in my life and career, I feel like anytime I speak up, I have to like always be aware, like I'm also a UW-Madison employee, and like I have to be very careful, like when I get emails and send them, I think it's just very complicated for somebody who wants to get involved in education advocacy, but also is employed somewhere, especially if it's a state entity.
Well, even as an employee, I've always been a person that stirred the pot.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm glad to have a rubber rouser. Yes.
I'm Diane Lang. I taught in Appleton for 34 years. I'm retired now. I'm actually just finishing up my term as president of the WEAC Region 10 Retired Teachers.
Great.
But I was at the NEA this summer, and I don't know if you're aware of that. They had a task force over the past year, and we adopted a new policy on community schools at the RA this summer. So that you can find online if you're interested in looking at what it says and what it is. It's quite extensive.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about it until I read the report and heard the discussion on that.
Yeah, in particular, the NEA and the AFT have actually been fairly supportive of community schools in general. Just to give you a little bit of background about how I got interested in and aware of community schools, I hung around school. My mom was an educator for 30 years. My sister's a preschool special ed teacher. And the more and more I studied about schools when I was in college, whenever people started talking about school reform and what that looked like, there were kind of these like building-based things of like, the curriculum and training teachers, making our teachers are well prepared, and making sure that we had the right principal in the building, and all this kind of stuff. Day structure and the structure of the school, like what is the school wall, school no walls, all this kind of stuff. And it just kind of hit me like there's a huge piece of the puzzle missing. Like if anybody knows anything about human development, like kids are influenced by so many other things in their life. So to think that you can fix, schools or education by simply like manipulating the pieces in this kind of artificial environment that we've created here as a social institution, to me it's kind of like, it's beyond me. I think that was kind of silly. So I saw people who were trying to incorporate the community into school improvement, and I thought, oh, well, that's like a big part of the missing piece, is kind of catching kids when they're not at school, because and I feel like if you already tell me, hey, you got interested in this stuff, maybe some of those same kinds of things would echo. So just realizing that there's so much about school and education reform that is simply out of the control of the formal school building. So the idea of community schools at least moves in the direction of trying to acknowledge that those things exist and try to actively address those issues. And this is why